Annyeong, it's Mikey here. Guys, thank you so much for subscribing and helping me build this channel. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers and hopefully this video gets us there. Guys, today, I can't believe what I have in my hands. I actually couldn't get a sample from this company, so I actually had to purchase it myself, but I think this is gonna be the keyboard of 2024, even more hyped and even better than the rainy 75. What do I have? The MCHOSE GX87, and I'm gonna go into more details, and sorry I don't want to keep this intro long, but this is not the one that's currently on sale out there that you can get in China. This is a different version, so let's go into the unboxing and let's take a look and do a full deep dive of this keyboard. Thank you again to MCHOSE for sending me out the GX87 early. I had to purchase the keyboard myself, but they were allowing me to, as an influencer, to be able to buy it and then be able to review it. Now, as soon as you open the box, we get the manual, which gives you the shortcuts and the function keys. Taking it out, we can see the nice GX87 fully wrapped up in plastic. I'm really bad at opening these things, guys, so forgive me, but as soon as I get it off, this keyboard actually feels so good and so dense. You know, you get a USB dongle right there, actually a slot to put it in, and the keyboard itself, guys, it sounds really nice. Now we get the accessories. The cable's not so great. It's a cheap cable, but what do you expect for a keyboard at this price? And you get some extra switches. These are the vintage white switches that will only come with the Ultra version. And of course, you get a switch puller and a keycap puller. And one thing I would love to show you guys, and I'll be doing more of, is showing you how much this actually weighs. Sorry, I had that upside down, so we're gonna weigh it, see how heavy it is, and then let's do a sound test before the teardown. So we can see that this is 2,065 grams. That is a little over 2 kilos. Let's do a sound test. So we're gonna do a teardown. Guys, this is an actual screwless keyboard for under $80, right? It starts at $79 for the Lite. This one I have is the Ultra. So once you take off the gasket, or sorry, the ball bearings, you're gonna be able to get into the keyboard and see what's there. So you can see how jam-packed it is. And when we're to get the ribbon cable off, we're gonna take a little bit more of a deep dive. It comes with 2 batteries for the Ultra version. This is 2 4,000 milliamp hour batteries, so you get a total of 8,000 milliamp hours. Guys, this is a ball bearing case. Like, that's impressive for the price. Screwless. That is what a lot of companies try to go for to make it look more prestige. And you can see that it has the little foam on the bottom, so it's going to be the foam that covers the bottom of the PCB and of course the plastic sheet so that it doesn't actually electrocute the keyboard. And as you can see, it has a foam between the plate and the PCB as well. And of course it has a little nibble that's going to be for the gasket mount. It's just so that it doesn't move around and it doesn't make too much of a clinking noise. So after I put it back together, you guys can see that's not a lot of space actually in between the foam, the board, and the bottom. So I don't know if it's going to be very highly modifiable in terms of adding extra foam, but we'll do a test a little bit later. So very easy to close up and put it back together. One thing to note about this keyboard is that whenever you change modes, you'll have a little bit of a loading time, and the lights will actually show in a wave up to bottom for the loading. Now this keyboard, guys, has something called the KTT Vintage White switches. The Lite version can also have the matcha latte, but because this is such a budget keyboard, I'm actually going to modify it with different keycaps. So thank you to KeyTalk for sending me out these 90s themed keycaps. I'm going to actually modify this keyboard with these keycaps, and look how nice this little artisan piece is. So this keyboard is going to be a full modified keyboard, just because one thing that's amazing about custom keyboards in these builds, especially budget keyboards, is it gives you the ability to actually do your own modifications to make it how you'd like it to be. The fact is, this is a budget keyboard. We're looking at about $79 starting all the way up to $129. That means you have extra budget to actually buy your own keycaps on top, or even add different switches and make this your own version. So I'm gonna try adding what I normally like to add, and a lot of you subscribers know about, is car sound dampening to the bottom. I'm not too sure if it's gonna fit, but we're gonna try, see if it closes, and if it doesn't, then we're gonna try something else, and I'll tell you guys what is available for you to do. So here I'm having issues actually closing up the keyboard. What does that mean? The 2mm sound dampening foam will not fit on the bottom of the keyboard. That's something I learned. So what we're going to try to do is some type of different mod that would work for this keyboard. So instead of the sound dampening, let's try actually doing a tape mod. So simple tape mod, guys, is just using a masking tape and taping the back of your PCB. One key thing I learned while I was doing this, because this has the foam at the back that's already meant for the PCB, I actually don't suggest doing it the way I did it. I would suggest actually doing a tape mod on the back of the foam instead of the way I did it, or you're going to have to cut up the tape to not cover up all the PCB pins that are in the back of the PCB. Reason being is the foam has those cutouts, and when you cover that up, it actually takes a lot more space on the inside of the keyboard, which this keyboard doesn't have that much space to do that kind of modding. So it does close, but I would say better solution would be actually doing the tape mod on the back of the foam. But as I mentioned, very easy to put this keyboard back together. Like, the ribbon cable is big enough that it's not difficult to put in, and to close this keyboard up is very simple. So we're gonna close it up, and we're gonna add KeyTalk's 90 themed keycaps on top and see how it looks like. And then of course we're gonna do a sound test. I'll give you guys a sound test of the modded, and I also want a little comparison with the switches in my Zoom 75. So I do want to give you guys some information about this Inidegogo and this company. Now, the MCHOSE GX87 does have another keyboard out there in China and Asia. That keyboard, as you guys can see on the screen, is a different keyboard. That one is actually with screw-in case, while this one is going to be a version that is without screws and just with the ball bearing mounts. Now, this keyboard, guys, is a little bit different. And the fact is, you have seen Kickstarters like the Rainy 75. This one, guys, is cheaper. It's like starting off at $79 USD all the way to $125. The $79, guys, is gonna be only for the Lite version, and then it's gonna be Lite, Max, and then Ultra version. So there's gonna be 3 different versions that you can get. Of course, guys, Indiegogos and Kickstarters or group buys, you should be very wary of it before you make a purchase, because you never know. But this company, guys, is a little bit different, and the fact is they've been around for a while. It's not a completely brand new company. They're actually a company that from China that wants to expand into a global market, and this is a really great way to do so by introducing such a budget keyboard. As you guys can see, I actually did a little bit more modifications by using different switches. I was just doing a little bit of a test run with the new switches I've been enjoying. One thing I also want to show you guys is the fact is this keyboard has its own software. That's something that you don't get with a lot of these group buys and different things. It's an MCHOSE hub, and you're actually getting a dedicated software for this. So we're going to open it up, and I'm going to show you guys what's inside. So in here, you actually get much more customization instead of having to go through VIA, which is still great, and I love the fact that VIA is doing such a great job and supporting so many different keyboards out there. This one is actually dedicated to MCHOSE's keyboards, so you're able to actually change the different OS or different layouts that you like to do. You're able to do the different lighting effects, and the fact is, guys, not many keyboard companies nowadays have their own software, especially if they're not a large company. So this is something that is definitely special about this keyboard. You're able to change the sensitivity settings of how fast it goes to sleep, the polling rate. You even have a speed ultra low latency mode. My goodness, guys, this is a big surprise for such a budget keyboard. You have to understand, guys, this is a $79 to $125 keyboard. This is a big luxury to get. Now, I'm going to actually also show you guys a little bit of the actual latency with, of course, the keyboard inspector. So we're doing the test with the ultra low latency and the 1000 Hertz, and we're actually getting 2000 Hertz for the latency on this keyboard and the polling rate. That is really cool. And as I mentioned, at such a budget rate, you can actually do your own custom keycaps. You know, thank you so much to Key Talk for sending me these out. I'm in love with this keycap and this whole build together with the GX87. This keyboard looks so nice, and I love taking around, and I actually love using it with the new Aqua Rose switches, the Rosewood. But guys, this has to be the keyboard of 2024. Literally a beast of a keyboard for such a low price. Comes with its own software. Again, it's going to be 4 different colors, so you're going to get a purple, blue, pink, and green, as well as there's a black version and a white. So total 6 colors. It's going to have 2 different switches, the vintage white switches, as well as a matcha latte V2. Guys, I can't say this anymore, but this has to be it, unless a keyboard comes out later this year. That's even more budget. But guys, wow, I'm actually impressed with this keyboard. I'll leave the link in the description to the Inidegogo. What do you guys think of the new GX87 from MCHOSE? Remember, guys, this is going to be on an Inidegogo on July 23rd. Go check it out yourself and make the decision. But be careful. Whenever you do support something on an Inidegogo, Kickstarter, or group buy, there's never a guarantee you're going to receive a product. There are always going to be some issues, but MCHOSE has their own website dedicated, and they've been around for a while now. I would take a look at their website and see what you think of their keyboard. I've tried this out now for a bit, and I think this is a great keyboard. This is, guys, for the price that you're paying, it gives you even enough budget to get your own keycaps that you like. You don't have to get these ones that I have. I personally like this one because I'm a 90s kid. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please, check out the other videos that I have posted and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you guys' thoughts are and how excited you are for this budget keyboard.